Well, welcome back, everybody. Evidently, Facebook didn't like me turning my phone. So, here's the thing. This is a great epic night of content because I just keep going to the next level. So, lately, you've noticed. Sorry, I'm trying to hold my phone in a certain way, and it just doesn't like. I don't like holding it vertically. Okay, so our world is very conditioned to the how to do something. We like to know how to DIY this and DIY that, and content marketing and internet marketing is often sold on here's how you do it and my 5-step process to this and 7-step process to that. And so there's a lot of how-to in the world, and that seems to be what sells. So, okay, fine. Now, there's also this sort of rise of storytelling in marketing. How do we tell our story? And we're the guides and all these things about story this and story that. So these are two different worlds, and there may be some overlap, but I want to start to point to what I've noticed just tonight in the power of story, your story specifically. So many of us in our marketing want to start to go after like the how to do something. And we try to break it down into a 7-step process and be pragmatic and all these things. Well, I'm realizing that in my life, I've been in business 17 years as of the date of this recording. And a lot of the last 7 years have been me trying to fit myself into the mold of codifying my system into X amount of steps and whatever. But when I look back at the bright spots in my life, if I look back over 17 years of business, where did I produce the most results? Where did I produce things that mattered? Where was my important work that actually made a difference over there? It wasn't in the 6 steps, 7 steps, 10 steps, 20 steps thing. It was actually in just being human. Look, this is why this doesn't sell. It doesn't sell because people go, yeah, Chris, but how do we be human? I don't know. Like, how do we do that? Right. I mean, that's right. Yes. Good question. That is the question. How do you do that? And how do you do it in a way that makes an impact over there? And so the best that I can do as somebody who produced a result. Hang on, let me just give you the result I produced and then I'll come back to this. So from 2007 to 2010, right, from the height of the economy to the bottom of the economy, right, all the way down to the bottom of the Great Depression or Great Recession, right, I was the CEO of a real estate company, right, and I recruited 75 to 100 agents to my company every year, from the top to the very bottom of the Great Recession. So how did I do that in a real estate company, right? That was all systems and steps aside, that is a bright spot. Is it not? Is that not a result I produce from the top of the market to the bottom of the Great Recession? Is that not a result I produced? It is. It is a result that was produced. So how did that happen? Well, the best I can offer you after the fact is to try to codify what I did. So I'm like, well, let me think about that. Step 1, step 2, step 5, step 10, and I try to give you my steps of how to. But here's the thing. What really happened, and that's what sells, because all of you, meaning all of me, as a consumer, want to know, like, well, how do I do what you did? I want to produce the result that you produced. And so that's why we buy the step-by-step process, the step-by-step how-to and right, the DIY of it all. Well, right. Yeah, that's right. So, but you're missing, when you buy the how-to of it all, when you buy the 10 steps and 20 steps to this and that, you're missing the heart of how it actually happened, right? So when I look at 2007 and 2010, what happened was I cared about my people. I would walk the office multiple times a day and I would check in with them and be like, what's going on in your life and how are you and what is this? And then I took my training and I opened my training up to my entire association of realtors in the city. and it was free, and they would come in and they would get built up and encouraged and all that stuff in their business that they weren't getting at their current office, and they would go back and feel encouraged. So it changed the reputation of my company. It inspired those I wanted to join my company. And I can't break that down for you in a 10 or 20 step process. I can, but you're going to miss the heart of it. You're going to miss the heart of it, right? And so there's this balance between the codifying of what I did and the story of what actually happened, right? I was just talking, some of you can see Allie, my business partners may or may not be watching this in the moment. Like, we are just talking about how our stories provide insights to what actually works. And the problem is when we're trying to sell a course or sell a strategy or whatever, oftentimes you don't get the story, you just get the how to do it. And the problem with that is you miss the nuances, you miss the spirit of it all. Okay? So, this is what I'm wanting to say to you right now. Like, in a world of marketing where we're all trying to like figure out how to, like, we're trying to play the game. That's what's happening. We're trying to play the game. Well, this marketing guru said I'm supposed to like do stuff. I'm supposed to do stuff, right? I've done this for 7 years and I'm trying to like figure out how to like do stuff. But what's weird is if I look back in my life, and if you watching this look back in your life, there are bright spots. There are bright spots in your life where you produced a result and it had nothing to do with the last product or course you bought or the last book you read. You, watching this, produced a result, and it was a brilliant result. And if you actually just looked at what you did, you'd be like, wow, that is not at all the last course I bought. So here's what I want you to know. Like, here's what I think what I'm excited about as we've moved into this Groundswell agency, building a marketing agency that actually helps entrepreneurs tell their story. It helps entrepreneurs telling their story almost feels like a recipe. Like, it's not a recipe, but it so much of your business success comes down to people feeling like they know you, trust you, like you, and that you have something valuable to offer them. And that doesn't happen in a soundbite. That happens over time in a relationship. And what we get to do in our new marketing agency is help you tell that story to the world. That's what we get to do, is we get to help you tell your story to the world. And it doesn't happen in one episode. It doesn't happen in a soundbite. It happens over time, just like it did for me from 2007 to 2009 in the hitting the bottom of the recession. The reason I built the company like I did was because I simply had relationship with my people. I had relationship with my people. And it wasn't any one conversation I ever had. It was the culmination of caring about and providing value to my people over time. And that is what we get to do in our Groundswell marketing agency, is help you build relationship and tell your story over time to create a connection with your people. And like me, where I recruited 75 to 100 agents every year from 2007 to 2009, you might be recruiting new customers to the tune of 75 to 100 customers a year simply by connecting with them, talking to them. Not any one conversation being the thing that makes the difference, but over time, them feeling connected to you because you keep sharing and connecting and adding value to their life. So, let me wrap. Here's the wrap. Marketing isn't always a 1, 2, 3 ABC, step-by-step process. That's what we do as marketers to try to help you reproduce what we did. That's what's actually happening in the background. We did something and we're like, what did we do? Crap, I don't know. What did we do? And then we go, well, step 1, I did this. Step 2, I did this. Okay, now I have the steps. So let me try to sell you on my steps. But what actually happens for you to sell your product is that people feel connected to you. And rarely is it attached to the steps. More often it's attached to the story. It's attached to the being of who you're being with your people. And that's what actually creates the sale. And it doesn't happen in a soundbite. It happens over time. That's why you need to be consistent in your content marketing. That's why you need to be consistent in video after video, post after post, because the more your fan base starts to find you and follow you, just like when I opened up my training, here's what happened. I opened up my training to my entire association in the city of Spokane, and my regulars would come back. People would come back. They'd come back, they'd come back, they'd come back. Guess who joined my company, right? The ones who kept coming back. That's how that works. The ones who came back. And so your job in your marketing is to find your true fans. And the way you do that is by producing content. Produce content, produce more content. And you just keep producing content. It is as if you are walking the halls of an office building, checking in with all of your fans to see how are you doing? What is new? What's going on in your life? Maybe I can add something. Let me tell you this. And you just keep sharing and adding and teaching and coaching. And over time, people go, man, the other people in my life don't talk to me like you talk to me, right? For me, it was agents would leave my classes that weren't at my company and they go back to their companies and they'd be like, my brokers don't talk to me like the way you talk to me. You expand my vision for my business and my life. And where I go, they talk about how many copies I get to make in the copy machine, right? So as you, the business person, keep talking to your people over and over and over and over. You walk the halls virtually through your content. You walk the halls virtually through your content over and over and over again. What happens is your people go back into their life and they start to see like others in their life don't talk the way you talk. They don't think the way you think. And so you become the conduit for them to think bigger about their life and their business. And that is how, at least for me, that is the bright spot for how I produced a result. That's the biggest result I've produced in my professional life, and that is how I produced it. I cared about my people, and I talked to them. I walked the halls multiple times a day, checking in and adding value. And it's hard to break that down into a step-by-step process because it bastardizes the heart of what was really going on. So, as you're out there looking at your next course, reading your next book, going to your next conference, think about, or at least be present to, there's a step-by-step process happening here that they're teaching me, and there's more to the story than what this is presenting. And that is the secret sauce. You have to find your bright spots in your life for what produces the result. If you bring your bright spots to any system, and you might actually crack the code, okay, of how to produce a result in your next venture or your current venture. All right, gang, thanks for checking in with me. See you next time. Bye-bye.